Hi, I'm Tori Bawab, and this is Nathan Dinkle, and you are watching My Hometown with Tammy Jo.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this episode of My Hometown. Please help me welcome Mr. Gregg Pechmann and Nathan Dinkle. And Tori Bawab is joining us again as we come to talk about Hancock Mortgage.
Yes, let's talk about Hancock Mortgage.
Let's talk about it. So how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Doing good. So,
business is great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy right now, especially with pricing, with rates, inflation, and everything else is affecting mortgage rates, and it just right now it's a very tough time to. It's about education, right?
Yes.
On your side too, with inventory, everything else. On our side, it's the same thing, but it's also with the trying to explain to them why rates have jumped up so quickly.
Yes, exactly.
Because most people are used to rates being below 5% for how long?
For a long time now. Yeah. So this is different. This is a change, and people need to know what's happening right now.
Exactly, and it's just gonna. It's a different world right now. So that's why we always talk about educating and taking our time, doing mortgage presentations, walking people through everything, so you can just take and really help them be comfortable and understand what's going on.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And well, with everything, somebody that you can talk to that can explain it to you, and get it all. Well, I wanted you to tell me about some of the products you offer, but this that we were just speaking about a few minutes ago, this is amazing.
Yes, so this is pretty cool. This is something that we've been doing for years, but we just haven't really put a name to it. So, we got contract closing insurance. So basically, it's basically a full underwrite approval before contract.
That's amazing.
So, which saves, obviously saves headaches. It gives you a better advantage of getting the offer accepted.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my goodness, yes.
And, there's a lot of dead time. So when we, take point of application to contract, especially now, it could be a month, it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months. So right now what we try doing is getting that file right into underwriting, which helps us to avoid any, mortgage bombs, we call them, down the line.
Oh yeah, and that is so helpful because seriously, you get dogged down in underwriting a lot at the end of a loan in a lot of places. So I didn't even realize you'd been doing this for years. So it's good that we get this piece of information out there. The pre-underwritten contract is just not something you hear about.
Yeah, I mean, it's just short of like a mortgage commitment, which pretty much it is, except for contract, title, and insurance, home insurance. So everything else is done financially. So that's our responsibility. We have to make sure that we vet all the questions, get everything out of the way up front. Let's make sure everything's smooth. So when they do get that contract in, then we can jump on it very quickly.
Yeah, it makes it smooth sailing, a lot easier to get through without any hiccups along the way.
It really does.
Well, do you want to talk about maybe some of the loans that you do through government loans, VA, FHA, these sorts of things?
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's the same gamut across the board. We do conventional, we do FHA, we do a lot of VA loans, USDA loans. So that's kind of our niche right there.
Yes, I love that. Elizabethton's a huge USDA market.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's a great product for us, and once again, the advantage that we have, we talked about this earlier, was it's the same underwriting team that I've been using for years. So
yes,
we get all this stuff out of the way up front. So that's why we have this. Basically to try to get everything done on the front end. But for stuff like USDA, that's stuff that could take a little bit longer. If you can get a lot of stuff out of the way, that's going to save you about a week or so where it gets shipped out to USDA. So
that's amazing. Yeah, because you have to wait on their appraisers and stuff. So if you've got all of your, oh my goodness, that is just nice to know. Nice to know for the future. Yeah, exactly. And you're in-house, so you buy the loans.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, we fund all the loans. We eventually sell them. But we fund everything, which means, going back to underwriting, that's kind of the core of our business, is that everything gets, looked at by the same people every single time.
Yeah.
And, these are people that we can talk to anytime. We can call them at night. We can call them on a weekend. Most people in this industry don't have that type of relationship. So
exactly.
Having that is the core of what we do and how we can turn stuff around so quickly. And, I was telling you this before, too. We had a loan that's coming to us today, actually. They got turned down 45 days into contract. So we've already got that through underwriting already, and talking to my underwriter last night about it, and we're way ahead of the game on this.
That's amazing, and what that does for the quality of people's lives. Mm-hmm. It's why you're such a big success, Mr. Pechmann.
I try to be. I try to be. But, it just, I said this before, too. When you're dealing with every loan, you're dealing with about 25 plus people.
Oh, goodness, yes.
And most people don't realize the kind of effect it has on everybody else, the
Yeah.
seller's family, the buyer's family, the insurance company, the title company. I mean, all these other people who are affected by it. So it's our job to make sure that we do our, work on the front end and make sure, there's nothing that blows up down the line. So,
That's fantastic, and that helps us as realtors so very much. Oh my
Yes.
goodness, because we are on the emotional side a lot in these transactions, and something like 45 days into contract falling apart, and
yeah, it's crazy.
and she serves the military. Or,
Oh yeah, she's overseas right now. So
Yeah.
it's just a terrible circumstance right now that she's in. But these are things that I've learned over years. Like we were talking about before. We've been doing this just under 20 years now, and
Yes.
you kind of learn from your mistakes throughout the years. And so that's something. Once you know you have something good,
Yes.
you definitely want to stay with that.
Yeah,
I mean, especially
yeah.
in this business, to be consistent.
when you figure out those special little niches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that right there is this underwriting thing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's we're truly blessed to have him on our team.
We definitely are. Good to sit and talk with you. I know you're very, very busy, so we'll let you go,
Okay.
and then we'll continue with a little more with Nathan and Tori. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more of My Hometown with Tammy Jo as we talk about Hancock Mortgage.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you again for joining me this morning as we're at Hancock Mortgage. And now we're going to get into a little bit with Mr. Nathan Dingle. How have you been doing today?
I have been doing wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I know that you just recently joined the Hancock team.
I've been in the industry about a year now, and the past couple of months I have joined Hancock Mortgage.
Yes.
And it's just a different feel here. We underwrite everything up front, which I know we've talked about that.
That's so amazing.
And the process is just bar none. I haven't seen a process that is this quick,
Flawless.
flawless, and I haven't been around the industry that long, but I know a ton of realtors.
Yes.
And from what they're telling me,
The horror stories that
the
you've
horror
heard?
stories, they're telling me that Hancock, has a leg up
Oh, yeah.
on everybody else, and it's because of the systems and processes that we have in place.
Yes, and this 20 years of experience doesn't
20
hurt
years,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're right in under the wing, and
I am.
Yeah.
And that was, I've heard Gregg, the Pechmann Team
Yes.
is goes above and beyond for the clients.
Definitely.
And, that is something that truly attracted me.
I bet.
So whenever this opportunity came available, I couldn't pass it up.
Good. I'm glad
Yeah,
you're here.
yeah,
We're tickled
yeah.
to death you're here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, we talked about a couple of, of course you all do pretty much everything,
Yeah.
but I would like for you to touch a bit on the USDA loan process because that can be so daunting.
Yeah.
And your whole program, the way it's laid out, sounds like it knocks a bunch of those obstacles out the way right
Yes.
away.
So USDA loan, I'll tell you a little bit about the loan program. It's a 0% down loan program. Compared to some of the other ones, conventional can be 3% or 5%. FHA's 3.5%. A lot of people think you have to be a veteran in order to get the 0% down, the VA loan product. But USDA is a solution that gives buyers, especially here in East Tennessee, the
Yes.
opportunity, to have the access to a 0% down loan program.
It helps so much because the buyer is the one that is really strained at the table.
Right. And just having the ability to not put a lot of money up front. There is inflation. The economy isn't, in the greatest spot right now.
Right.
So having that product out there is a game changer.
It definitely is. Within that program, for instance, can you kind of give them the guidelines of how a
perfect.
USDA loan
Perfect.
operates?
So I know Elizabethan, everywhere in Elizabethan qualifies for a USDA loan.
See, that's good to know people.
Right. So what makes that important is the city of Johnson City, the city of Kingsport, the city of Bristol does not qualify for that product because of the population.
Yes.
So USDA, that loan program is for people living in the rural areas of the country. So all of Elizabethton qualifies, Blumpville does, Piney Flats, Bluff City does, all of Southwest Virginia qualifies for that loan program.
That's
And,
fantastic.
the good thing about it is that there is an income limit.
Oh, yes.
But it's pretty daggone lenient. I think right now it's up to over $70,000.
That's
So
great.
as long as you're under that, you should be eligible for it. The credit limit is pretty lenient whenever it comes to USDA. 640 is normally as low as we can go.
That's a good number, though.
It's a pretty good number.
What's your
Sometimes
debt to income ratio
debt
work
to
like
income
on
ratio
that?
is pretty lenient. It's kind of goes along with conventional loans.
Yes.
So we like to stay under 41%.
That's great.
Debt to income ratios. But overall, it's a great solution,
It is.
especially for first-time home buyers.
Oh my goodness, yes. They're the
and
ones that are all nervous anyway
They're
going
the
in.
ones, right, that are nervous about a down payment. Hey, have we saved enough money in order for us to get into a house?
Yes.
And that kind of gives them a little bit of peace of mind that the USDA can help them out and get them in a house, virtually nothing out of their pocket.
That's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you, I know there's a lot of rules within USDA about the house itself.
Yeah.
So can you kind of shed a little light
Yeah.
on, so
I
we
mean-
know what to go look at and what not to?
Yes.
I mean, what you can see from obvious the curb, this is probably not going to be a USDA loan.
So really, I don't run into that many issues. I mean, obviously, there can be cracks in the foundation.
Right.
It's not as critical as like a VA loan is. You don't have to have hand railings, stuff like that. But, they do want it to be in pretty good condition. The paint can be chipping, stuff like that. They're not as strict.
About that.
Right,
Okay.
compared to a VA loan. But I've never really ran into issues with the USDA, I guess the condition of the homes.
That was a big question for me because I've seen it a lot as a realtor, and I
A
try
lot
to
of
think
people are
ahead.
scared. A lot of
Yes.
people are scared. It's a government loan.
Yes.
Hey, there's
They're going to pick this house
they're
apart.
gonna pick and
Yeah.
it's really not that.
That's
case.
good to
I mean,
know.
So I feel pretty confident that most homes, will abide by the USDA
Guidelines.
guidelines. So,
Oh, well, I'll tell you a lot that I see in Elizabeth and myself is there'll be a requirement for a SUP pump, and this has not happened with just USDA. I've seen this through FHA.
Yeah.
And I mean, we, as Chris knows, our town can get kind of soggy sometimes.
Yeah.
and a lot of these structures are old, and it's a very old town. A lot of our homes are old, so their basements are old basements. I've seen trees. And that's
Yeah,
what's holding
yeah,
the house up.
yeah.
I swear, I've seen this in Elizabeth.
Now,
So
that may not pass.
that's what I'm
USDA.
saying. Yes, you are going to see some things
I might
that you've
see
never
some
seen.
of that, which I'm excited about. I mean,
Yes.
I can learn from that. But
Yeah.
from what I know, I feel pretty confident that most houses in Elizabethan will.
Okay, this tree thing, this is going to have to be conventional, probably.
That'll probably have to be or cash.
Or cash, yes. Conventional or cash, we know this. Yeah, we write these.
Stay tuned for more of My Hometown with Tammy Jo as we talk about Hancock Mortgage.
Well, everyone, I wanted also to bring Tori in with us again because she actually has experience as she is right now going through the loan process. So I'm just going to let them fill you in.
Yeah, so good to see you, Nathan.
Good to see you, Tori.
So me and Nathan have been actually working together pretty much since he first started in lending. So this whole time I've just been really thrilled with not only the level of communication I get with Nathan, but also especially since he's made this change to Hancock, I have never been happier with my experience with a lender.
Say that again.
Can I get that in writing?
Yeah, right. Anyway, so what I love is that if I have a question, it literally gets answered in normally minutes. Not even have to wait like an hour. I normally have an answer within 5 minutes, and that is
That's
amazing.
incredible.
Yeah.
Working with VA clients, typically I've seen that they're a little bit more challenging in the past when I've worked with other lenders. Right now we are doing one that is just flying by and it is just smooth sailing.
And you're
so-
like, what is this?
I know.
What is this strange ship
It's
I've
like, I've
entered?
never had it be this good before.
Yes.
And so anyway, it's pretty awesome. Everything is going, like I said, I mean, it's just flying by and smooth.
And smooth.
And
exactly.
And that's what we like to see, and that's what I like to be able to tell my clients, because
Yes.
I've been told by my clients multiple times that the loan process is always the most frustrating, most hard, just
Yes.
emotional process. It's a lot of times more emotional than finding a home,
Oh,
is
yes.
dealing with the loan process. So having somebody that not only I trust and use, and
Yourself,
I've used
yes.
Nathan now twice
That's
for
amazing.
personal purchases. So I mean, just by having that experience and being able to tell my clients, listen, you're not going to get better quality.
Definitely.
I mean-
well, you are perfect for this because you use VA, VA loans.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, or have. Yes, and you
Right.
have had to go through this process, and you know how daunting it can be.
Yeah, so,
And Greg was speaking of the one that fell apart after 45 days, and that's just
well, and that's
in
the
a
other thing
position
is
of them being in
having,
Qatar, and just how
Right,
awful
right.
stressful that would be.
Yeah,
and to
and-
know that they do VA with a
I mean,
low
that
stress
that
level.
again is kind of, I haven't been in the industry long, but I know a ton of people. I know a ton of agents that deal with multiple lenders, and finding Hancock and knowing their process is what attracted me, really, to come in here. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're mentioning that, because that is why I'm here now.
I mean, it is by far probably the best experience I've ever had, and
That's
and I'm
awesome.
not exaggerating. I've worked with multiple different lenders with multiple different clients,
yes.
and I have to say, truly, this has been the best it could possibly be. I really believe that.
That's fantastic, and it is for the buyers that they are the ones that
y'all
are just
pumping
around.
me up.
Yeah, like my chair.
Yeah.
I'm up here high today, folks. Well, could you tell us a little bit about what you think is coming up this spring? We know that, of course, we're going to have some rate issues that we're going to
Yes.
be facing. So what are you all kind of preparing to do to help people prepare for
Yeah.
the future?
So we don't have a crystal ball.
Of course.
I wish we did.
Yes, don't we all?
Rates are higher. They
Mm-hmm.
are, and inflation is still an issue. Hopefully they level out. Right now we are in the upper fours. Kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
But historically, rates are still low.
Yes, people forget that in the 80s
people
they were like
forget.
16% and
Right.
crazy numbers. People
So,
forget this.
in the
Well, they're
past-
young.
Right. Right.
How old were you when this happened? Were you born? I don't know if she was born yet.
When?
When the 80s, back in the 80s when rates were way, way high.
I wasn't even a thought in my mother's
She
head.
wasn't even alive yet, people.
So,
But the rest, well, you don't remember either. You're just a kid.
I was born in the 80s.
You
the
was
late
born?
80s.
Yeah.
The late 80s.
When we were graduating. He was born.
So, but I mean, historically, again, rates are still low.
Yes.
Compared to where they have been, they're not in the 2s anymore and the low 3s like they were, but that was not normal.
It wasn't normal. It really
And,
wasn't.
I think they will come back down.
I do too.
I can always, we hope,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they will.
Yeah, I think things will balance out a lot. Do you really? I kind of am wondering with everything that's kind of going on overseas right now,
Yes.
if there will be things that come into play governmentally that kind of ease the pressure on interest rates and such. I think we may
they
see
will
that.
rebound. I do.
Yeah.
It may not be for a little bit, but again, historically, I think we're still in a good spot.
Yeah, it's still a good time to buy.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Especially everybody moving here because they love our mountains, and I don't blame them. I love these
Well,
mountains.
And because of inflation, rent is going up.
Yes,
So
it has
I
a lot.
I still feel confident that it is a better solution. It's a better investment to buy a home, to own a home.
Oh,
So,
definitely, always, other than throwing your money in rent.
Exactly.
And sometimes you have to. And a lot of people that are moving here, I'm sure you know, Tori, they want to rent for a little while so they can have a chance to look, because it's gone in
and-
2
and they
minutes when
wanna-
it goes on the market.
Right, they want to learn the area.
Yes, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So I think owning a home is the first step to really becoming financially independent.
Definitely.
It really is.
Yes, as it will always be the best investment. Well, I was going to ask you, the upfront process when they first come to see you, what will they see first thing? What's the first thing you talk about? What should they bring
Okay.
with them?
So the first step, obviously, is taking an application, which takes about 10 minutes. We just ask some simple information, legal name, social. We will run your credit, and birthday and job history. We look at assets, and then we input all the numbers into our system, and we come up with kind of a 30,000-foot view of what everything's going to look like, what's going to be the best fit for you, go over those numbers with you.
Yes.
And then kind of mold an idea of which route we're going to go with. And after that, we immediately try to get as many documents as we possibly can.
Yes.
And try to get you pre-approved.
You see, that's amazing. You all actually go for the pre-approval straight out the gate
Yes.
with
Yes.
lots more detailed information for the it's maybe a little daunting, but they'll be glad
They will
that
be
worked
glad,
this way
yeah.
from the onset, because then they can
Right.
just look
And it helps everybody out. It
Yes.
helps the agent out. It helps the sellers out. It helps the buyers out. It makes the process smoother.
yes, across the board,
And
definitely.
it's quicker, and it's
Well,
just a
when
smooth
you're walking
transaction.
in to make an offer with a pre-approval,
Right.
Yeah.
a pre-approved client, not just pre-qualified, they're going to hit the top of the food chain
Right.
there for that,
And a
for
lot
winning
of
that
lender-
bidding war that
Yes.
Right.
we keep
Yes.
seeing.
A lot of lenders call it pre-approval, but most of the time it's just a pre-qualification.
Yes.
A pre-qualification is where they have basically took your information, put it into the system based on what you said, and they pre-qualify you.
Yes.
Where we're taking what you said and documenting it and making sure that
And gathering more information.
gathering more, making
This is a
everything
huge
you told me
distinction.
is correct.
Is true, yeah,
Right,
exactly. Well,
yeah.
not that they're lying, but just that,
Right,
however.
right. You have to do it that
yes,
way.
Yes,
So
yeah.
but
Well, that's fantastic, and
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here.
thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
am super excited.
Yes, we're gonna have a great year.
We are.
It's nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day.